Our live coverage of Day 3 of the NCAA Division III Softball National Championships continues. Our 10th game after 4 on Thursday, 4 on Friday. Game 2 here on this Saturday afternoon. The Profs of Rowan, the Eagles of Emory. It's an elimination game. First time that the Eagles have faced elimination after last night's loss between, at the time, the two winners, UT Tyler and Emory. It was a run rule victory for the team from Texas. 12-1 the final. So that puts the Eagles into this matchup with Rowan, a team that had to fight off elimination yesterday against Illinois Wesleyan. We saw Fisher and the Cardinals prevail earlier today in our first game. Lindsey Thayer, the strikeout leader in the nation this year, had 14 strikeouts and a 1-0 victory to send MIT home. 3 teams have now been eliminated. St. Thomas the third. One of these two teams will head home after this one. Our field will be cut in half. Whoever wins will have to win again tonight and again tomorrow to then reach the championship finals. Lincoln Rose, Megan Turk with you here in Salem. And Megan, pitching has, of course, predictably prevailed here in Virginia.
Well, today, Mackenzie Joditis, the freshman, gets the start for Rowan. And we'll see Brittany File, the All-American, going again, the junior for Emory. And she got beat up pretty bad against UT Tyler last night. Made it about 2 1/3 innings and then was pulled pretty quickly. But I think we'll see a good one here. Potent offenses both for the Eagles and for the Profs today.
Joditis in the circle. We saw her in relief in each of the first 2 ball games. First in that day 1 loss against Messiah when she worked 2 2/3. She was the best pitcher we saw in terms of allowing just 1 run on 1 hit. Did walk a pair. She threw 53 pitches on day 1 yesterday. We saw her in relief go 4 innings, throwing 62 pitches, 4 hits, no runs, as she closed out a 3-1 victory over Illinois Wesleyan.
We'll see how she does with the start. We've seen her obviously in relief in both of the games, but she's done well, kept runners from scoring, especially yesterday. I was really impressed with the way she came out and attacked hitters.
Alyssa Pollard is the leadoff hitter, 0-1 the count. Taylor Forte on deck, Melody Carter in the hole. Turnquist, Baca, Vincent, the middle third of the lineup. Powers, Wilson, and Herman, 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Emory. Rowan, the home team in all white. Able to win yesterday's elimination game as the visiting team. Emory was the home team against UT Tyler last night. Only went 5 innings. The count now 2-1 to Alyssa Pollard. Sims behind home plate for Rowan. Piote, Sneed, Anderson, Mercado in the infield from left to right. Baldessari, Janello, and Mercado in the outfield.
We'll see a little bit of everything from Joditis. She does bring in an off-speed every once in a while, but mostly that screw right there, a drop, and then she'll come up in the zone with a rise.
Count goes full. These two teams met this year on February 28th. And Emory will break through with a leadoff single on the full count. Pollard is on. Emory won that ball game in February, 9-1. Listen to this slate for Rowan right after we take a look at the base hit.
And the senior Pollard doing her best to get that ball out of the infield, and that's just out of reach of Sneed. I'm surprised we didn't see a diving effort from the shortstop. We saw a lot of that yesterday from her. I think she would have had a chance to at least keep that in the infield.
Sneed, your shortstop there at the 20 on her back, one of the 10 finalists for National Player of the Year in Division III. We saw her hit a home run yesterday. It's 33 stolen bases, great speed. Talking about this schedule for Rowan. Back-to-back-to-back in February, played 3 eventual top 10 teams. On February 27th, they played Berry College. They then played Emory the next day, and after losing to Emory on the same day, they played, at the time, number 2 Salisbury. They actually went 1-2 during that stretch.
Well, and that was in the middle of winter where they don't get a chance to practice outside. They had to practice in the gym a lot or at a facility that had turf on the field that wasn't even part of the university. It was just a community facility. So that's a tough task to come out and play when you haven't practiced on field.
Taylor Forte bunts that one foul. Of course, Emory, they're here in Salem, but they were only the number 3 seed of 4 teams in their own regional when they went to Barry. Birmingham Southern was also in that regional. And yet Emory prevailed. Ball 4, 2 on, nobody out.
And a nice at bat from Forte right here. She battles off a couple pitches. Gets up in the count 3-0 and then takes that first strike, then tries to bunt one foul.
So Forte on first, Pollard on second, nobody out. Melody Carter will come up here in a moment. Carter, the first team all-conference senior in the UAA, second team all-Atlantic region as named by the NFCA, National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. Coaches had Emory at number 9 in the nation. UT Tyler finished the regular season in the coaches poll at number 3. Those are your only top 10 teams to make it to Salem, in part because some of these regions, including the one that we talked about with Emory, were loaded with top 10 teams. Heck, number 1 and number 2 were in the same region, Virginia Wesleyan and Salisbury. Neither made it out of Virginia. The Marlins would have loved to be here. The Seagulls would have loved to make it back. Oh, 2 from Jeditis. Into right field. Stop sign is up. Bases are loaded. After for Rowan out there in right field, Smith able to send it back in.
And Melody Carter doing exactly what you want to do on this outside offering from Joditis. Takes it out into right field, a nice line drive from her. And then Morgan Smith just chunks it in, making sure that nobody will score. That's Pollard over at third base now.
Look, this is a fantastic start. 3 on, nobody out for Emory. But if you've been paying attention, it's not a given that a run's going to score.
We've seen some great pitching performances the past 2 days and leading into today with Lindsay Thayer from Fisher and then MIT's Lexi Marshall, who was sent home due to the Fisher performance. But Joditis in her first start here in this tournament, we've seen her do well in relief, and now she's in a pickle.
I think our earlier game, Marshall and Thayer, those are the only 2 pitchers who have thrown every pitch for their teams through 3 days now.
Even with the Patriots of UT Tyler, they brought in Kissinger in the last inning for not quite a save with the 12-1.
Janelle Turnquist, bases loaded, will bring one home. They're going to try to bring home insurance as well. Nobody out. It's a 2-run single off the bat of Turnquist. Pollard and Forte back to the dugout.
And Janelle just pounds this ball out into left field. The sophomore from Austin doing work and getting a 2 RBI single for her team to put them up just in the first inning.
Boy, was Janelle in good spirits despite having just lost 12-1 last night. These Eagles confident in their ability. Here's Cassie Baca, the shortstop, out of the 5-hole. Nobody out, 2 have scored. Carter on second, Turnquist on first. Baca, the rookie of the year in the UAA, first team all-conference as well. Popped up. It's an infield fly. And Baca is out. First batter retired.
This is a chance for Joditis just to kind of settle down. You get that first out of the inning, and now you want to build on that momentum. Work ahead in the count.
Sam Vincent She was choking up on the bat, takes it for a strike.
It's a nice pitch. The righty going to her screwball in the outside corner, which tails away from the left-handed hitter.
Could not hang on to it. Piote, the third baseman, almost able to bring in out number 2.
And you can tell she's frustrated after this one. Piote, she was there. It was a tough play, but she just overshot it and it kicks off the heel of her glove.
Next pitch is outside, 1-2. A single, a walk, back-to-back singles, and then the infield fly rule. 2 runs have scored here in the first. Count holds, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sam Vincent against Mackenzie Joditis. Again, pitching for her 3rd straight day, but getting her first start of the week. She's 8-2 on the year. It's her 6th start on the season. Beth Ann Highland had eaten up most of the starts, including yesterday when she struck out the first batter and then the sprinklers came on after she threw some heat.
And we'll also see Nolan, who came in relief of Highland that first game versus Messiah. Each Highland and Nolan gave up 4 hits.
Kim Wilson, head coach of Rowan, becomes the most recent head coach to remind the umpire to make sure that the batter with 2 strikes is actually swinging and it's not simply a modified bunt. That argument has yet to prevail this week. Obviously, a bunt foul on strike 2 would be a strikeout. The 2-2. Count goes full. Only third base unoccupied.
That's not a bad pitch or location by Joditis on that last pitch, trying to get a strikeout with Vincent going after the up pitch.
Left side. Tag is made. They cannot turn 2, but they got the priority. Sneed able to tag Melody Carter on her way to 3rd.
And this is a nice heads-up play from Sneed. She fields that ground ball and immediately tags the runner and then tries to get the double play. And Mercado over at first base saves what could have been a throwing error.
Here's Ashley Powers, the number 7 hitter. She had a home run on day 1. It was a 2-run blast that proved to be the game winner for Emory. One and 1. Eagles still threatening. A 2-run single by Turnquist. Janelle is on 2nd now. And after the fielder's choice, Vincent is on 1st.
Those back-to-back curveballs on the outside corner is getting that outside call, not necessarily the inside. We've seen her go to her screwball occasionally.
The 1-2. Got her. A nice recovery by Rowan and Joditis in the circle, but not before. The first 2 batters of the ball game, Pollard and Forte, reach and each come home on Turnquist's 2-run single. Profs head into the home half of the first, down by 2. Brittany Files getting the start for a 3rd straight day. She is 1-1 here in Salem.
In the circle for the Emory Eagles, number 6, Brittany Files.
An All-American on the field as well in the classroom. Really likes to utilize her location horizontally with that curve and screw. We've seen her be pretty deadly with an off speed when she uses it effectively and throws it in the zone.
Her win came against St. Thomas on day 1, lost to UT Tyler yesterday. Did not finish that ball game. Shyla Sneed leads off for Rowan, the All-American and possibly Player of the Year. Offense and defense, 2 areas in which she excels.
And in their victory yesterday, she had that solo home run. back in the first. I don't think anybody had a doubt about that one getting out. A lot of power in such a small stature. There's nothing wrong with being little.
She got home in a hurry.
Yeah, she does have a lot of speed. Few stolen bases this year.
My analyst, tall enough to ride all the amusement rides, and that's all that matters. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lincoln Rose along with Megan Turk, former Baylor Bear third baseman.
And Sneed does not get cheated on any of the hacks that she takes. She's not afraid to put down that bunt and try to fool the defense and get on with a quick bunt, but when she swings, man, she swings away and out of her shoes.
Again, the 2-2. Brittany File is the earliest in the ball game. She has had a lead. Never saw one yesterday. Payoff pitch. Sneed, a 486 hitter, slugging .763. 21 walks to just 7 strikeouts. Her 9th home run yesterday. Ball 4. 33 stolen bases to be mindful of.
That's a great at-bat for Sneed right there, and the senior takes File all the way to a 3-2 count, fouls a couple off that she doesn't like, and then takes one high up in the zone. File trying to get her to chase with a rise ball.
Here's Mia Baldessari, the left fielder, batting second. Ashley DeYoung is on deck. Smith, Anderson, Mercado, the middle third, Piote, Sims, and a healthy Janello back in the bottom third of the lineup. Sneed in time. Number 34 on the year. She's only been caught 4 times.
And Baldessari, the hitter and the sophomore, swinging on that pitch no matter what. That's just to try to divert Carter's attention and the catcher away from Sneed stealing.
But it does put Baldessari behind in the count 0-2. Mia is 5'10", but she can cover the whole strike zone and then some. Was able to get down low for a base hit yesterday. And would need to be 6'4" to get that one.
That offering from File way out of the zone for Baldessari to even think about swinging at. Over in the right-handed batter's box, that screwball just tailing away from the sophomore. DeYoung's another one of these players that takes hacks when they're up there. Definitely don't get cheated on any of the swings that they take.
Ashley was 0 for 1 yesterday with a walk. 2 for 4 against Messiah in that 9-6 loss on day 1. Remember, Rowan had that 6-run inning in the top of the 4th. Emory doesn't want to hear about 6-run innings. The 1-1. Strike called. Runner on, 1 out. And DeYoung not chasing. Close call. Count goes full to Ashley DeYoung.
File yesterday, or excuse me, the first day against St. Thomas had 110 pitches.
To center, could be trouble. Pollard back to the wall, it's gone. Tie ball game. Ashley DeYoung, a 2-run shot in the first.
And Ashley DeYoung, the junior, you can tell how much passion she has for this game. So excited about this bomb. Look at the way she keeps extended with her hands. She's able to rotate her hips. So much power over the right center field fence. And this is when those walks will come back to bite Emory. The walk given up to Sneed in the first at bat, had that not happened, would have been a solo shot. Emory still would have had the lead.
Home run number 13 for Ashley DeYoung, who would like to be playing tomorrow on her birthday. They'll have to win 2 today. Batter Morgan Smith with nobody on, 1 out. I think Rowan had been the only team we had seen score this week in the first inning until today. Some early fireworks. The 3-1 pitch.
File trying to come back from a 3-1 count. Any coach you talk to will say the worst thing that you can do after giving up a home run is to give up a walk.
Yeah, there's nobody on. All of your attention on the batter. Lofted to left center. Forte underneath it. Out number 2.
Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 13, Carly Anderson.
Brittany File has had highs and lows here in Salem. There have been times she has looked like she's among the elite pitchers, but a few mistakes have been costly.
She's the most outstanding player in the Super Regional at Atlanta. And her catcher Carter will come out and have a few words with her. We've seen her fall behind in the count against these Emory hitters, and that's when it gets a little dangerous. You have to come around the zone, and you don't have the pleasure of trying to throw that ball a couple balls outside the zone and getting batters to chase.
Two and one to Carly Anderson, the second baseman here out of the 5 spot for Rowan. Second best average on the team, 422. 6 home runs of her own. Carly yesterday 0 for 3 in the win over Illinois Wesleyan. 1 for 3 the day before. This is going to stay in play. Forte underneath it. But not before Shyla Sneed leads off with a walk and gets to trot around the bases with Ashley DeYoung in hot pursuit with a 2-run blast. A day shy of blowing out some candles. We are even after one.
For more information, visit ncaa.com/social. And don't forget to pick up your official shirt.
Ashley DeYoung with the home run, making it a brand new ball game after one. She's back in the dugout as your offensive player.
And she's been fun to watch. Incredibly animated. You can tell how passionate she is and how much she loves the game of softball, but displaying just the power that she has at the plate. Pretty consistent in her at-bats.
Emory brought 7 to the plate in the first. So here's the number 8 hitter, Jenna Wilson, the DP. We did not see Wilson yesterday in the lineup. Sam Vincent was your DP at the time. Out in right field today.
This is a freshman that was all-state. She also ran track. She was an all-state track member as well, one state every year. And so you know she has some speed. That's why we keep seeing her show bunt to try to get on for Emory.
Batting .319. Choking up on that bat. Count goes full. Native of Malvern, Pennsylvania. We'll try to leg this one out, but a good throw as Jedidius throws a strike.
And we've seen the Rowan pitchers be very consistent in their fielding ability out of the circle. Jedidius showing off her arm over to first base, but sometimes we've seen pitchers struggle fielding their own position, and it has not been the case for the Profs.
Lana Herman's in the 9 spot. Third baseman for Emory. Oh for 2 yesterday. On day 1 was a 0 for 2 with that appearance. Looking for her first hit. Jedidius getting her first start of the week. Behind in the count, 2-1.
And Jedidius, another player who's all-state. I think we'll hear that a lot in the next couple days, but she racked up 21 strikeouts in one game in high school.
Seems topical.
Only the third player in Connecticut history to do so.
And no, an illegal pitch. So you'll bring the batter back. Trying to remember what the pitch count was. So you wipe off the out, bring Herman back.
I'll come back as a full count. Kim Wilson's going to go out and check on what exactly happened. Normally with that illegal pitch, you'll see the pitcher's back foot leave the ground and find some air. And from this angle, it looks like she kept that back foot on the ground. But an illegal pitch called. First base umpire Deanna Hunt.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit prior to that.
Yeah, that doesn't look like there's any air or any clearance in between her toe and the ground.
So instead of strike 3, you change that pitch to a ball. And now it's a full count 1 pitch later. Second illegal pitch we've seen on the day.
And illegal pitches were something that was emphasized to umpires a couple years ago, and this year specifically keeping batters inside of the box. And we've seen a couple calls like that where if a foot is completely outside of the box, the batter will be called out when they make contact outside.
Up the middle. And Lana Herman makes the most of her second chance.
And the freshman getting a second chance at this at bat, and she just lifts that one over shortstop, and Sneed barely out into the grass, but gives Emory some life. So instead of 2 outs, nobody on, now you have a runner on first with just 1 out.
Here's Alyssa Pollard, scored in the first inning after her leadoff single. And Rowan is just going to have to move on. One and one.
The top of the lineup for Emory has been pretty consistent. Yesterday, the only run that Emory scored against UT Tyler came from Pollard and Forte. The single and then a double to follow up for the junior and Forte.
Pollard was 3 for 3. You'll remember in last night's run rule loss. She's now 4 for 4 over the past 2 days. She had 3 of Emory's 5 hits in those 5 innings, scoring their only run.
Well, she went 0 for 3 against Kelsey Batten, but Emory only had 2 hits.
Off the glove of Jeditis, able to recover. Anderson, calm, cool, collected. Just pitches it to Sneed. Route number 2.
And Herman does not slide on this. And had she slid, she would have been safe over at second base. But because the ball is behind her, she thinks that Anderson is going to try to go to first and fails to get dirty.
Runner going, great jump. And in time, stolen base for Pollard.
And it looks like they'll say that Pollard left early.
Yep.
Calling her out. It was a great jump.
She beat the throw, but they say there's a reason for that. So Emory got essentially a base runner after an illegal pitch. Well, they'll give it right back. As only 3 batters come to the plate, not your typical 3 up, 3 down, but Rowan will take it 2-2, headed into the home half of the second. Well, they shut out top half of the second, means Rowan comes to the plate. And if the Profs can score, we'll have their first lead in today's elimination game. Different experiences yesterday for these two teams. Rowan faced elimination and won. Emory was looking to stay on the fast track on the winner's side, but ran into UT Tyler. Emory won on day 1, so they had the luxury of losing one yesterday. Damaris Mercado at the plate out of the 6th spot. 0-2.
That's a nasty drop ball from File. And though it looks like a bad pitch to swing at if you're Mercado, that ball coming out of File's hand looks like a strike and then just drops off the table.
One, 2 to Mercado. Pulled foul. couple of high energy teams. Rowan, even with a high energy coaching staff, I think during the week has been asked to stay within the dugout. As you see the top prof, this one popped up to the pitcher file. That ball hung up there forever. Mercado out.
The third baseman, number 6, Nicole Mayotte.
We'll see Emory wheeling over at third base. Her starter was Lana Herman, but she'll now take her place over on the left side, hot corner. And File has been much more effective when she gets ahead of hitters. We've seen so far here just in the second inning.
Over the glove of Whelan, but foul.
That she's gotten ahead 0-2, 1-2 counts. And that's when she's successful. The problem is when she falls behind hitters and is able to give up those free bases, go to the 3-0, 3-1 counts, and give good pitches to hit.
No balls, 2 strikes, the count to the number 7 hitter, Peyote. Nicole Peyote, the sophomore out of Oakland, New Jersey. It's going to hold up there. A great effort from Powers. But the at-bat continues.
And Powers over here, that's a long run. She's behind the bag and just misses it by about 6 inches. That's a great effort. We've seen a lot of that in the past 3 days. Really fun to watch this much softball.
This one a bit more standard as Powers able to stay on her feet.
The catcher, number 3, Alyssa Sims.
After giving up that home run in the first inning, File has retired 4 straight. Seems to be settling in a little bit more here in the second.
Alyssa Sims, her first trip to the plate today. And she was already leaning towards first, just got the bat on that ball. Now 0-2. She's your catcher. What are these, profs? Profs, short for professors. 1-2.
Sims, the senior transfer from LaSalle University. Been solid behind the plate.
2 outs, nobody on.
Speaking of solid, Melody Carter behind the plate has also done that for the Eagles as well. She's been able to go down and block balls in the dirt pretty easily.
And that's certainly a confidence boost for your pitchers when you have a luxury like that backstop. You can go to all of your pitches, including those that are going to break into the dirt. Payoff pitch off the glove of Whelan. This inning continues.
The center fielder, number 14, Gianna.
That's tough. That'll go down as an E5. This ball just skips over to Whelan in a hurry. Looks like that could have been caught as a line drive out, but boots it at the last second.
Still 2 outs. Janello at the plate. She fell ill right before the start of yesterday's game. Was a late scratch in the starting lineup, but came back in at the end of the ball game. good to see her get the start here today. Tries to stab that bat. Is behind the count, 0-2. They'll get some dirt on the uniform of Sims. One, two. Well, it has not been an easy first 2 innings for Brittany File. 5 batters in the first for Rowan, including a 2-run home run. Was hoping to get out of the second, 3 up, 3 down, but the infield error has kept this alive.
She's going against the freshman, that all-time leader in hits for her high school. There's Melody Carter again. We talked about just her play behind the plate, and in their first game against St. Thomas, it ended up being a 3-2 victory for them. Carter had a really nice diving tag that probably saved them from going into extra innings.
2-2, caught looking. They'll strand the runner and keep this one even at 2.
And File going back to her screwball that tails away from those lefties. Gets Janello completely looking the All-American, doing it for the Eagles. And the Eagles looking to gain the lead for the second time today.
Mackenzie Jeditis overcame an illegal pitch call last inning to face the minimum 3 after a runner was called out for leaving a base early for the final out. Taylor Forte walked and scored back in the first. All 4 runs in the first inning between these 2 teams. So Forte, Carter, and Turnquist do up a walk and 2 singles among them the first time around.
They've definitely been the most dangerous part of this Eagle lineup. Turnquist and Powers being the heroes of day 1. And then last night against UT Tyler, Pollard and Forte again combined just for that 1 run that they scored, that 12-1 loss against the Patriots.
Forte up the middle, Sneed has the arm.
That ball just up the middle. That's an easy 1-hopper for Sneed to get over and get that first out of the inning. She's been solid over there.
And Shyla Sneed, now a senior. As Rowan making their way here to the national championship, the big stage. 24 NCAA tournament appearances altogether for this year's NJAC champions, New Jersey Athletic Conference. Currently 41-10 on the season. That one pulled foul. Off the bat of Melody Carter. She singled in the first. Was forced out on the base paths. 2-2. Carter, a Louisiana native, out of Slidell. Was first team all-conference this year as a senior, second team all-Atlantic region. Hop over to Piote. And the left side of the infield has come through for the first 2.
And Jodinas has really settled in after that first inning, giving up a couple hits and those 2 runs. Nice job by Piote for the routine out over to first base.
Here's Janelle Turnquist. All of a sudden with 2 outs, nobody on. She drove home the only 2 runs for Emory today. The native of Austin, Texas.
We got to talk to Janelle last night after the game. Like you said, she was pretty upbeat, understanding what they had ahead of them today. But I've known Janelle since she was about in 8th grade. I think it was the summer before her freshman year. She started coming to Baylor softball camps, and I worked them every year for about 6 or 7 years. She's just been the happiest and the hardest working individual that you could possibly ask for.
I mentioned back on Thursday that in high school she had broken her ankle either her sophomore or junior years, forced her to spend time on the bench, but she would show up to practices, watch her teammates, and just even mentally get better at the game. Came back, was fantastic for her head coach, Haley Gaddis, at Westlake High School, and ironically, she got the starting job this year at second when a senior went down with a broken ankle. Payoff pitch, fought to left side, and it's 3 ground outs in the 3rd inning. Rowan has shut down Emory now, kept them off the board for the past 2 frames. Rowan, your home team, will bring their bats back in the home half of the 3rd. Top of the order due up, beginning with Shyla Sneed. Well, the families and fans of Emory have traveled, I won't say from Georgia. Emory with a national recruiting base thanks to their academics. Getting to play softball, just a bonus. But boy, do they play softball well. Those fans have seen a lot of wins over the years. This is their 4th trip to the national championships, their first since '07 for this 18-year-old program.
Well, very similar to how MIT lineup was as well, just all over the country. And a lot of people say that they choose Emory for the challenge academically, but the prestige and the athletics that they have over there.
With MIT eliminated, we are guaranteed a non-Massachusetts national champion for the first time in the past 4 years. The Jumbos of Tufts out of Medford, Massachusetts went back to back to back the past few years. A couple in Salem and one in Tyler, Texas. Sneed, a walk, a stolen base, and then the final 120 feet just had to outpace Ashley DeYoung behind her on the 2-run home run. This one towering, almost caught in the infield by Pollard. That's a sigh of relief for Emory.
Pollard having to track that ball down. She started over in the NCAA logo out in center field. That's a long run for her, but good communication between her, Baca, and Turnquist.
Mia Baldessari comes up, 1 out. A strikeout back in the first. Remember, she chased one in the opposite batter's box. Mia's teammates telling her to work the count. It has not been an easy 2 innings for Brittany File. Again, faced all 9 Rowan batters over the course of 2 innings to start this ball game. 50 pitches already for Brittany File.
The advice to work the count for Baldessari is a really good one. Already a 3-0 count for File here.
This will be a freebie. And cannot get it. Ball 4.
And that's been the biggest struggle and thorn in the side for File and these Emory Eagles is those free passes.
2 of them today.
They had four 4 of them against St. Thomas in the first outing, 3 of them against UT Tyler last night before she was pulled.
And it puts a runner on for Ashley DeYoung. A 2-run homer in the first. Didn't care for it. 0-1.
That's a good take by DeYoung. That changeup offering just a little bit too low in the zone. Looking for a better pitch to hit.
Into left. Baldessari will have to settle at second. DeYoung is 2 for 2 today.
When she takes a ball that's left way too much over the middle of the plate, out into left field. Looks like we'll have a runner for DeYoung, but she's trying to continue to play on her birthday, and she wants a chance to take on Messiah later tonight.
Whoever their dance partner is tonight, they dance again with tomorrow if they're successful. Again, Messiah will play the winner of this game and is 2-0. Tyler, UT Tyler is 2-0. So even if they lose tonight, the Falcons or the Patriots, they still would get to meet that same opponent tomorrow in what would be an elimination game for both. We're not there just yet. This is an elimination game for Emory and Rowan as we try to pare the field down to just 4 teams.
Well, Rosalie Hood, the sophomore, will come in and run for DeYoung over at first base. So some speed on the bases. Now with Baldessari on second, scoring position.
1-1 to Morgan Smith, the cleanup hitter. She flied out to left in the first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chance to get out of the inning. Instead, no outs will be recorded. As that one went through the legs of Baca.
And that'll go down as an E6. An error on Baca. That a missed opportunity for Emory and their defense. Baldessari almost comes home on this ball. Morgan Smith, who had the 2 RBIs and what proved to be the winning RBIs on Thursday. Baldessari looks like she might go and then decides to come back. Janelle Turnquist coming all the way over from second base to make that throw home and back up her shortstop after the error.
1 out, bases loaded for Carly Anderson. 0 for 1 today. A walk, a single, and the error. The pinch runner Hood is on second. Baldessari and Smith on the corners. Eye level. This should score 1. Tagging up is Baldessari. Hood will take third. And Rowan would like to get in a rundown. Halfway off the bag is Smith. But she'll finally come back to first after not receiving any attention.
And that'll go down in the books as a sacrifice fly for Carly Anderson, the freshman, coming up big with runners in scoring position. Just 1 out, easily scoring Baldessari from third. And then Rosalie Hood heads up base running on the throw, advances to third. So now there's a first and third situation for Rowan and the Profs. They look like they're rolling at the plate.
Profs have their first lead today.
The first base number 25, Damaris Mercado.
Damaris Mercado popped up to the pitcher file last inning to lead off. Comes up with 2 outs, 2 on.
And Mercado had a breakout weekend at the regional at Cortland. She batted under about 200 for the majority of the year and then hit a double and, oh, by the way, a grand slam.
Half swing, shallow right. Vincent comes in, cannot make the catch. It gets past her. One run has scored. Play at the plate. Tag not in time. Everybody's safe. 3 runs this inning. Mercado drives home a pair.
And this a miss hit over to right field, but drops in front of Sam Vincent, who comes in with all the effort that she can possibly muster and just bounces over the top of her glove. Turnquest gets that ball and throws it home. Looks like it would have been in time, but Melody Carter misses the tag at home. Scores 1, and then another missed tag over with Whelan at third. And oh my goodness. What an exciting time for the Profs.
No tag there. And in a moment, you'll see Mercado. She was the one sliding into third. She was the one who was just at bat. Wow. A 3-run inning. And Mercado, you mentioned, did not hit it well, but hit it where really nobody could get to it.
Well, that one easily scores Hood from third base, scores Smith from first base, and then Mercado all the way from home advances. That's a heads-up base running and a lot of effort. She sees that ball hung up in the air quite a long time, and on the throw home from Turnquest, the second baseman, she just heads-up base running on her part to get all the way to third.
The batter is Nicole Piotti, 0 for 1 today. And I expect Mercado will be given a double. The 0-2 with 2 outs. Pollard squeezes it. Rowan will strand a runner on third. But let's talk about why the glass was 3/4 full. Baldessari, Hood, and Smith all score for Rowan. They lead by 3 after 3 here on Elimination Saturday.
The NCAA opposes all forms of legal and illegal sports wagering as an asked potential honor.
University of Texas at Tyler, one of the 2 teams that won on both day 1 and day 2. Messiah the other. The Patriots are up next. Patriots will have a rematch with Fisher, a team they beat on day 1, 2-0. Emory is in this predicament right now, playing in an elimination game after being run ruled by UT Tyler last night, 12-1 in 5 innings. And we talk about pitching. I think there's an argument to be made that UT Tyler has 2 of the top 3 pitchers here in Salem. One of them has only thrown 1 inning.
Oh, she had 3 strikeouts. Every out they recorded came by the wake of K.
Cassie Baca at the plate. Popped up into an infield fly, rule out back in the first inning when Emory scored 2. Emory has only brought 3 in the second, 3 more to the plate in the third. Lofted out to right. Smith comes in.
Well, good news for Emory is that there's plenty of game just in the top of the 4th inning to come back and score at least 3 more. But they've been shut down in the past 2 innings, just Pollard and Forte being the only reason that they do have 2 runs up on the board right now.
Winner of this faces Messiah tonight. We mentioned the burden. It's all uphill. You win here, you play again tonight. If you win tonight, you'll play that same team again tomorrow with a berth into the 2-team championship finals on the line. 0-2. But if you can get to those finals, and be one of the final two teams. They'll wipe your slate clean. It'll be a best-of-3 game series as opposed to a true double elimination tournament where one team might only have to win one game. The 1-2 to Sam Vincent. And with the third baseman Peyote up, she's able to slip it through.
Yeah, the freshman has had a great outing here at the National Championship Tournament. This is her third hit since she got here. And that one just plays perfectly in the 5-6 hole, out of reach for Peyote and Sneed. Again, you'd like to see Sneed get a little dirty on that. She was only a couple inches away. Would not have had a chance to get the out over at first in Vincent just because of her speed.
Into the gap, off the wall. Going first to third on the double is Sam Vincent, as she and Ashley Powers both in scoring position.
And Powers, we've seen this from her before. She had that home run back on the first day. Knocks this one off the wall. It's a great piece of hitting on a pitch over the middle of the plate from Joditis. And surprisingly does not score on this. Was held up at third just with one out in the top of the fourth.
The 3Ds of Division III, and she'll bank it off, develop. Runner on third is Vincent. Powers with the double. There you see the 3Ds of Division III here in the NCAA. There you see the young lady with another extra base hit this week.
Powers had that big home run to put Emory up 2-0.
Gonna have a pinch hitter here, Amy Ray, who has been a starter this week in right field, is batting for the DP, Jenna Wilson, who was 0 for 1 with a ground out. Opposite field, coming in is Smith, makes the catch, not deep enough. And Joditis backing up.
And Vincent was tagging, but tried to bait a throw, just was not convincing enough. Smith throwing that ball in either way, but it ended up being way too high, and Joditis was backing up home plate and was there to catch the overthrown ball.
And let's see if Lana Herman re-enters here in the 9 spot. She singled after being given new life following an illegal pitch. We had seen Whelan replace her defensively.
Well, Joditis had a rough start to this game. She gave up a single, a walk, another single from Turnquest.
Tori Reisner, a freshman out of Fredericksburg, right here in Virginia.
Your attention, please. Pitching for Emory Wheelan, number 19, Tori Reisner.
First time we have seen Reisner here in Salem. 8 hits on the year, a .286 hitter, making her 29th appearance on the season.
We'll see a conference in here in the circle. This is just to settle down the freshman in Joditis. She gave it back-to-back hits, a single and then the double from Powers, and was able to get Ray, the pinch hitter, out on a fly ball out to right field.
Nate Parsley making the visit. 2 outs, a chance to get out of this inning without any damage done. But there are 2 in scoring position. Vincent on third, Powers on second, each with base hits this inning. Tori Reisner, the pinch hitter. 1-0. Two balls, no strikes.
That ball just at the top of the zone. Reisner took that for the first pitch of the at-bat.
2-2. Reisner at the plate, one of 15 first-year players for Emory. And the count goes full with 2 outs.
And I like that pitch call for Rowan. Joditis successful on the rise ball in the last swing. Could have been good if she had gotten Reisner to bite.
It's tight, ball 4. Bases loaded for the top of the order. A pinch hit walk for the freshman from right here in Virginia. And quickly the first pitch to Alyssa Pollard, singled and scored in the first, reached on a fielder's choice and stole a base in the second. Before she was, actually called for leaving the bag early.
And Pollard, after her 3-for-3 day yesterday, started off with her single. She's reached both times today, but we'll get a conference from Alyssa Sims, the senior, going to talk to her freshman, and Joditis. Already 2-0 the count with bases loaded. You'd really like to get out of this inning without Emory scoring.
Tying run is on base. Rowan scored 3 last half inning. And there will be no RBI walk on the 4th pitch. Right back to Joditis. Eagles strand 3. The freshman gets the start in the circle today with the season on the line. And able to hang on to a 3-run lead.
And Joditis getting Pollard to ground out just right back to her. Is able to get that 3rd out, gets out of the inning, bases loaded, unscathed. And now Rowan looking to add to their lead.
Bases left loaded by Emory. 5 runners left on base today. 2 in the first as well. And the Eagles will hope that Brittany File can keep Rowan to just a 3-run lead. Again, the Profs have the benefit of being the home team today. Winner of this will play tonight against Messiah. And again, lots of changes at third base. Emory goes back to Lana Herman, our starter, who has re-entered now, the freshman.
That's a missed opportunity on the offensive end for Emory. Bases loaded with just 1 out, unable to get anything going.
2-1 the count to Alyssa Sims out of the 8th spot. Reached on a infield error back in the 2nd. She was the first of just 2 runners left on base so far today. Rowan brought 7 to the plate last inning. Remember, the inning began with the top of the order. Shyla Sneed sent one skyward. It almost took out some clouds before Pollard was able to make the catch in center field. It would be a while until the 2nd out rolled around on a sacrifice fly.
Well, then it came back to free bases and an error Baldessari walked, and then DeYoung had that single over to left field. Morgan Smith reached on an error. And E6 over Baca. And then Mercado ended up being a double, I believe, and she reached all the way to third base on what could have been a fly out over to right field.
The count is full to Alyssa Sims. Trying to drop it in and does. Base hit from the number 8 hitter.
And Rowan is getting pretty good at dropping these balls just in front of the Emory outfielders. Forte, no chance for her to try to catch that in the air. Just has to gather that and throw it over to second base. We'll see a pitching change.
So Brittany File once again cannot finish this ball game. At one point had a 2-0 lead. In her place, it'll be Toko Miller. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher who we saw for the first time last night when we return here on NCAA.com. We saw the freshman from Arizona, Toko Miller, yesterday make her debut in Salem. Go 2 2/3 inning of work. Allowed 5 hits, 6 runs, none of them earned. Walked 1 and struck out 1 of the 17 UT Tyler Patriots that she faced. Again, she inherited already a significant deficit. UT Tyler would run rule Emory 12-1 in that ball game. Miller was one of 3 different pitchers for Emory in the inning in which she entered during the third.
Well, Miller, her go-to is really her changeup. She'll throw it in any count against hitters. But she likes to stay down in the zone, utilizing her change and her curveball and her screwball, but also a drop.
Toko's overall numbers this year, this is her 17th appearance, so 1.3 ERA. All but 1 appearances have been in relief, including 3 saves, 27 innings of work. Chance for 2. And Turnquist wisely will hang on to that ball. They'll keep the lead out, and no. They're going to, oh yes, everything will stand, but they're going to call time. Second base apparently has pulled free.
Well, those are those safety bags that just kind of break away when somebody slides into them, but Janello sending this ball over to Baca, and Baca, a routine play over to second base, gets the lead out. Goes to her second baseman and Turnquist, and smartly does not throw over to first base. We've seen several throwing errors so far in the last 3 days on balls that should not have been thrown over to first.
Toko Miller now faces again a candidate, one of 10 finalists for Division III Player of the Year, Shyla Sneed. Sneed has scored once, came home on the home run back in the first from DeYoung. She homered herself yesterday, number 9 on the year. Is 0 for 1 officially with a pop out to center. 1 on, 1 out. It's a busy day for the Emory Athletic Department. Right about the time this softball game wraps up, their baseball team up in Wisconsin will get underway in an elimination game. Hopefully that's not news to any Eagles fans tuning in. Emory will likely win the Division III Directors Cup for the most points awarded for the best all-around athletic department in terms of success on the field, on the court throughout the year. And court includes tennis court, where they were the women's tennis team champions earlier this past week. Sneed has her first base hit on the day. 2 on, 1 out.
And both of these hits off of Toko Miller have been to the left side of the field. This one just sneaking past Baca and Herman over there at third. Snead a lot of speed over at first base, but she's behind Gianna Janello, who advances to second.
Snead is 5 for 7 here in Salem against some of the top pitchers in the country. Here's Mia Baldessari, walked and scored last inning. That free pass came back to haunt Brittany File and Emory. The 1-0 from Miller. Fair ball. And they'll get the out. Both base runners advance. Janello on third. Snead on second.
And that's a smart play by Ashley Powers, the sophomore over at first base. Sometimes you try to do too much and get the lead out over at third, but really no chance to get Janello out. So she wisely steps on first.
Ashley DeYoung will try to bring her teammates home. A 2-run home run in the first. She had a chance to score herself on that one. They pinch ran for her with Hood last inning. Hood did come home to score. Part of a 3 spot on the board. It's Ashley's first time to see Toko Miller today. The number 3 hitter. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, if she wants the same result as her first 2 at-bats, she needs to look down in the zone. That's where Toko Miller has mostly been. A couple of groundouts so far today.
3-0. And this next pitch may not be even close. Our home plate umpire talking things over with the Emory dugout with Penny Sisqueros.
I think this is just a double check and make sure the lineup is correct. It doesn't look like we see any movement for a pitching change or anything of the sort.
No, the only change we saw coming into this inning was Herman going back to third, but offensively, nothing new for Rowan. Both coaches giving nods of approval.
I think that was just a double check and make sure of re-entry.
After they ran for Ashley DeYoung last inning. Again, since she's the designated offensive player here. Did not have to come in that last half inning. The 3-0, and it is an intentional walk.
The right fielder, number 8, Morgan Smith.
Well, this makes the play a little bit easier if you're Emory on the defensive side. Now you have a force out at home with bases loaded. You've got 2 outs, but you're going against a Morgan Smith. She reached on that error last inning on Baca over at the shortstop position.
Smith, the 5th runner to score for Rowan today. And nobody is anywhere close to second, so Shyla Snead is just getting some extra steps in for her pedometer. No place to go with the runner ahead of her at third. And that's a strike.
And no one over at second due to the fact that Smith continues to show bunt, which means Turnquest over at second base has to cover first base, and Powers is coming in to cover the bunt.
Off speed, 2-1. Well, as if Snead wasn't fast enough and likely could score from second on a well-hit ball. Nobody's keeping her honest, so she'll be able to break. 3-1. Let me ask you, Morgan Smith, your cleanup hitter here. What do you want her doing?
I say it's a red light. You have a freshman in the circle right now, high pressure situation.
We'll test that. Ball 4. RBI walk. Gianna Janello comes home.
And again, the free bases coming back to bite Emory. This walk, they had the intentional walk to Ashley DeYoung, the DP, who's on fire today, and then Morgan Smith, the sophomore, going against the freshman in the circle.
Still 2 outs. Sacrifice fly last inning for Carly Anderson. Put that 5th run on the board. Anderson 0 for 1 today. The 1-1. That run, I believe, is charged to Toko Miller as Brittany File left after Alyssa Sims had singled this inning. Sims was out on a fielder's choice, allowing Janello to reach. Slow roller, first baseman Powers gets to the bag in time, inning over. The Profs will strand 2 more, but they also bring home an added insurance run in the 4th. 4 complete in our elimination game between the Eagles and the Profs here in Salem. Well, the fans coming in probably putting some sunscreen to work over these first 3 days. Now, typically, we would not have started our Saturday of championship softball just yet. Today was only supposed to be these first 2 elimination games starting in the afternoon. But Tropical Storm Bonnie, it's encouraging that we're early in the alphabet still with Bonnie, is expected to pay the East Coast a visit. And while the weather permitted, the NCAA committee did their due diligence along with the grounds crew, talking to local meteorologists in the area, and decided they would squeeze in 4 games today, which means Messiah and UT Tyler do not get to spend today at the Outlet Mall. Instead, they will each play teams that have survived elimination ball games earlier today.
When UT Tyler making it to the National Championship Series last year against Tufts on this very field, you had a sense that if they could come back in the 2nd game, they'd be able to take the 3rd game victory.
That ball sent over to first as Taylor Forte retired.
The catcher, number 34, Emily Parker.
That's a fair ball. Carter is on.
The second baseman, number 21, Janelle Turnquist.
As right now 6-2, Rowan on top. Emory down by 4 here in the top half of the 5th inning. Got a lot of people hard at work here in the press box to make things happen. We appreciate all their support throughout the 3 days. Lincoln Rose, Megan Turk with you. And again, we showed up in Salem, 8 teams still in pursuit of a national championship, including these Profs of Rowan. After this ball game, we'll be down to 4.
This has been a fun couple of days, hasn't it?
You and I have it pretty good.
We're not out in the heat. I think it hit up to 92 at game time just before we started. This is the 3rd day in a row we've gotten to see 4 games of softball usually planned for the first 2 days, but not today. As winter bracket games normally get off, like you said, no outlet mall for UT Tyler or Messiah, but I think they're happy either way to be in the winner's bracket.
The trade-off is that they face teams that have already played today. UT Tyler will face Lindsay Thayer, who again pitched an entire ball game. Sneed hauls in the out. Janelle Turnquist retired. And your best hope of beating Lindsay Thayer for a second time in 3 days is that she's already pitched a full game. Meanwhile, your ace, if they in fact go back to Baton, only had to go 4 innings in a 5-inning run rule last night. Pretty stress-free.
She had a lot of rest against Emory last night. Their 12-1 run rule. And what's dangerous about the Patriots is their ability to string hits together. They had 2 innings where they scored, just 2, but they scored 6 runs in each of those innings.
Cassie Baca at the plate. Out to right field, and Smith is underneath it. Inning over. As Emory will strand 1. They've stranded 6 now for the ball game. They briefly led after 1/2 inning of play, but since then, 6 unanswered from the Profs, who will look to do it again when we come back in the home half of the 5th. Tropical Storm Bonnie not here yet. Supposed to arrive late this weekend. Otherwise, we mentioned Messiah and UT Tyler would typically have today off. Instead, they are here in attendance. Messiah awaits the winner of this ball game. It would be a first meeting with Emory. Messiah knocked Rowan into the losers bracket back on day 1. Rowan has already survived yesterday. This is the first time Emory has faced elimination.
Leading off the fifth for the Profs, the first baseman number 25, Damaris Mercado.
First pitch out to right, and Vincent has it. That's the kind of inning Toko Miller needs.
The third baseman number 6, Nicole.
See if she can get these Eagles back into the dugout.
Mercado likes the right side of the field. She had that double back in the 3rd where she advanced on the throw all the way to third base, base running.
Nicole Piotti 0 for 2 with a ground out and line out.
Yeah, she had that nice line drive out to center field. It ended up being the 3rd out of the inning, but well hit ball.
Low. Toko Miller came in last inning as she faced 6 batters in relief. Herman over to Powers. 2 up, 2 down.
The catcher number 3, Alyssa Smith.
And Toko Miller being very efficient here in the 5th inning. And Herman over there, normally the starting third baseman. She's been switching off with Whelan.
Alyssa Sims has reached twice today. Is 1 for 2 officially. A single last inning to get things started. Count will even at 1-1. Rowan now 41 victories on the year, a team that went 13-1 back at home. These Eagles now 46-7. That loss to UT Tyler last night for Emory, their 2nd loss in as many years to the Patriots. Great speed down the line, but the Eagles will work a perfect 5th inning. Just what Toko Miller and the ladies from Atlanta needed.
And Herman charging this mishit ball bare hands it, gets rid of it as soon as she possibly can over to Powers at first base and gets out of the inning unscathed.
Well, umbrellas for the first few days, simply for shade. And our man Kevin bringing you some of the sights, but also can't resist the atmosphere here in Salem.
Everybody's having a good time here. A lot of dancing in the stands the past couple days.
His souvenir from this weekend will be tan lines.
Leading off the sixth for Emory, the right fielder, number 25, Sam Vincent.
Sam Vincent has reached base twice today. Fielder's choice in a single. She was stranded on third last inning, or pardon me, back in the fourth. Remember, bases were loaded for Emory, and they could not bring one home. Vincent, Coyote, just tall enough.
Vincent trying to just get this out beyond the reach of Coyote over at third base. Does her best. We've seen her go over to the left side a lot in a left-handed slapper, trying to get that 5-6 hole for a single, but Coyote bringing that one down.
Ashley Powers, a double back in the fourth. Again, already a home run this week. Just wants to put a dent. This will help all the way to the wall. She'll try to stretch it to 2. And she is in with a 1-out double. Boy, has she been a bright spot.
Well, she's been on fire. Takes an outside pitch. Keeps her hands behind the ball, extends. Is able to send that into right center field. Perfectly placed enough to where that's an easy double for her, even from the throw from Janella over in center field.
They are going to run for Ashley Powers with Reagan Greer. The sophomore comes in. We saw Reagan run yesterday for Janelle Turnquist on one occasion.
Your attention, please. Pinch running at second base for Ashley Powers, number 15, Reagan.
Reagan also had run for Turnquist and scored the day before against St. Thomas, a critical run.
Well, Greer also a pitcher for this Emory staff, and one of which was All-State in high school. So a lot of speed on the bases right now, only with 1 out for Emory. Trying to get something going. They have 5 outs to work with their season in 2016. If they cannot get at least 4 across and on the board before the 7th inning is over.
For Emory, this is Jenna Wilson at the plate. After Amy Ray had pinch hit for her, Wilson is 0 for 1 with a ground out back in the second. Left-handed bat with Greer on second base. 1 out. Fair ball into the outfield. A run will score. And nobody covering second. So Greer scores from second. The pinch runner has done her job. And they'll rule the error on the catcher's throw. A 2-base mistake.
And that's a perfect bunt by Wilson. A nice spot, and Sims tries to come out, but that ball just way too far inside the line to get an out. Easily scoring Greer from second base on the error.
They'll give her a single.
And then the error on the throw.
And then the error allows her to advance and allows the run to come home.
At first, when I saw her drop the bat as quickly as she did, I thought she did a one-handed bunt. Looking back at the replay, obviously she didn't, but that was like a hot potato. She just dropped the bat as soon as it touched the ball, and that allowed it to deaden as much as it did.
Pulled, has the distance, but well foul. That's Lana Herman, who's back in the ballgame. The deficit down to 3. Eagles not done yet.
That ball from Joditis just a little bit outside. Herman in the high school valedictorian looking to get a couple more runs up on the board and has an opportunity to do so with runner in scoring position over at second base in Wilson.
2-1. Number 9 hitter at the plate. Alyssa Pollard on deck with the top of the order. You mentioned Joditis. She has gone the distance for Rowan so far. Still hanging on to a 3-run lead. Runner in scoring position is Wilson. This is playable. First baseman Mercado fighting the sun, has it.
That's playable, but very dangerous is how far that ball went up in the air. Mercado doing a really good job of shielding the sun. It's been something that players have been fighting against all
Left
day.
side, no interference. Emory will score 2 as the ball bounces their way. Jenna Wilson comes home. You'll get another look. There's a lot to digest. There is no interference between the base runner and the shortstop.
There was no interference called at all. And Kim Wilson is going to come out and argue this. But I'm not sure where that ball hit. It hit off of someone's foot, whether it was the runner in Wilson or Sneed over at shortstop, because you can see the change in direction.
See if we can get maybe one more look. As Taylor Forte is the next batter. The moment that gets past Piote, it's fair game. She had the chance as the first defender to field that ball.
And that's the argument for the umpire. And
Sneed is not afforded any protection.
yeah, Kim Wilson coming out to argue that, saying that Piote did not have a chance.
Towards left, foul by about 4 feet. Only one defender needs to have a chance to get to that ball, and when Piote attempted to do the sensational, she basically provided a free pass for Jenna Wilson, the base runner, to go from second to home. It's a 2-run top of the 6th for Emory. They are the visiting team. Pulled into center. The 2-out rally continues. Runners on the corners as Pollard now 60 feet away.
Well, and hitting for Emory is contagious. Obviously, Forte pulling this ball over the right center field gap. Obviously perfectly placed, but gets Pollard over to third base, puts another runner in scoring position. And with these two speedsters on the base pass, even with 2 outs, would not be surprised to see some kind of movement.
Joditis is done. A pitching change for Rowan. See if it's Beth Ann Highland. As Rowan goes to the, we'll still say bullpen. It's Alyssa Nolan, the senior out of Middleton, New Jersey. We saw her on day 1. When she lasted 1 2/3 in relief. We did not see her yesterday.
She gave 4 of those hits and 2 free bases. Ended up giving up 4 of the runs to Messiah, 4 of their 9 runs.
It's her 29th appearance, 22 now in relief. A 2.37 ERA, has struck out 44, walked 17, opposing hitters batting .244. It's a save situation.
Your attention, please. Now pitching
And Nolan likes to go to her curveball and her rise ball. So if you're Emory in this situation, you want to try to lay off the rise as much as possible. With 2 outs, a fly ball will do you no good. So something hard hit on the ground, putting pressure on this Profs defense. And hopefully for Emory, they find something either in the outfield or something hard hit to the infielders.
Here's Melody Carter, who up until a base hit ago was still wearing her shin guards. The catcher for Emory did not necessarily expect to be the 7th batter to come up this inning. She singled in the first, is 1 for 3.
And Joditis is responsible for each of the runners on base now.
One is in there. A pitch away from getting out of this inning. It won't be that one.
The senior laying off of that rise ball smartly. And Nolan has come down in the zone, utilized her curveball in the previous 2 pitches.
Runners on the corners. Only second base unoccupied. And the count has gone full. Top of the 6th, Emory essentially down to its final 4 outs. Just 1 left here. Ball 4. Bases loaded for Janelle Turnquist, the cleanup hitter. Already 2 runs batted in today.
The second baseman, number 21, Janelle Turnquist.
Oh, and Turnquist, she's on fire. She had a hit in the first game against UT Tyler. Or excuse me, a hit in last night's game against UT Tyler, hit in the first game. So she's reached base each of these 3 games so far in this tournament, seeing the ball really well.
Second batter that Allison Nolan has faced today now. Well ahead of that one. A warning shot sent screaming towards the Rowan dugout. Most recently popped out to the shortstop. Last inning. She's the 8th batter to come up here in the 6th. They trailed by 4. They've cut the deficit in half. And caught on the fly for the 2nd time today. Emory will strand bases loaded. The difference, this time 2 runs do come home before it's all said and done. Eagles cut the deficit down to 2, but the Rowan Profs says today's home team will come up in the bottom of the 6th, hoping it's the final time they bat in this ball game before a rematch with Messiah tonight. The Profs of Rowan right now still hanging on to a 2-run lead. They're your home team in the bottom of the 6th. And they have 0 desire to bat in the bottom of the 7th. If they can put up one of those magical 6-run innings, they won't even have to take the field again before later on tonight. Emory doesn't want to hear about that. Toko Miller's done a nice job. Faced the minimum last inning. In relief today of Brittany File coming in the 4th inning with 2 outs. She faces the number 9 hitter, the first batter she faced back in the 4th. Gianna Janello, 0 for 2 today with a run scored. Up the middle, and this should be her first base hit. It is. There's always room for Janello.
And Janello, this ball just soft enough over to the right side of the field, up by second base. Turnquist is able to cut it off before it hits the outfield, but just the speed of the ball and the speed of Janello makes it easy for her to get in over there with a base hit.
Shyla Sneed, 1 for 2 today with a run scored and a stolen base. Throw down, and a stolen base here for Janello. That's why you bat her in front of Sneed.
And that's another one of those fake swings from a Rowan hitter, giving way to their teammate over at first base, trying to steal.
10th stolen base on the year for Janello. They're looking for insurance for Allison Nolan to be able to pick up a stress-free save next half inning. One. Runner will advance to third. They celebrate the out, but while it won't be a sacrifice bunt, it's just as good.
And this is a miss hit by Sneed. Looks like it could have been on purpose in a bunt, but that's a tough play for Herman over on third base. Just the speed that Sneed does have, a bang, bang play over at first.
Wow.
Yeah, just barely got her.
You mentioned that bat right on top of the seams of the ball. A tough play, but well done. Pinch hitter for Mia Baldessari, who had walked, was 0 for 2 today with a run scored. As this is Amanda Parker, a sophomore. Parker, a 182 hitter, second time we've seen her in Salem this week. Just 2 hits on the year. But if she can loft one into the outfield, she will have done her job. She can get a sacrifice fly. Parker does have 5 RBI on the year. 2-1.
Miller staying in the lower part of the zone. She likes that drop ball on the off speed that kind of drops off the table. Every once in a while she'll come upstairs to surprise the Profs hitters. But that's why you see so many ground outs from her.
2-1 pitch. Up the middle, it's through. Run will come home. Just the 3rd hit on the year for Amanda Parker as she comes through in a pinch.
Well, and Coach Wilson looks like a genius on this move, but outside part of the plate again, Rowan able to take that up the middle. And Parker, what a time for your 3rd hit of the year.
So Janello comes home. And now for the pinch hitter, a pinch runner. It is Sammy Vredenberg. We've seen Vredenberg in the starting lineup the past couple of days. Here's Ashley DeYoung. Runner is going, that ball got away.
Actually, they're going to be called back. I believe that Vredenberg left.
Illegal pitch.
Oh, no, it's an illegal pitch.
Runner advances. And now an extra. I think she just gets second base on the illegal pitch.
Oh.
No, now they're saying left early.
Yeah, that's the same signal, illegal pitch and leaving early. Normally you see them call timeout, but a left early for the pinch runner and Sammy Vredenberg. Unfortunately for Rowan, but that's a good break for Emory.
Rowan has already scored 1 this inning, but now 2 outs, nobody on. And that changes the mood a bit. Ashley DeYoung, 2-run home run back in the first. Tough hop, Baca. Eagles get out of the inning. The deficit grew to 3. Emory must score at least 3 here before 3 outs come around. Otherwise, this 2016 campaign will come to an end. Well, Emory will come into the top half of the 7th inning as your visiting team down by 3. This is a team that survived one of your regions of death as a number 3 seed against Birmingham Southern and the host Barry in the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament. They get past Benedictine in 3 games in Atlanta. Here's Cassie Baca, 0 for 3 today. Leading off in the 7th against Allison Nolan in relief, looking for the save. Emory has stranded bases loaded twice today, including last inning, although the Eagles did score 2.
Well, they had cut the Rowan lead in half at the time. It was a 6-2 lead. They got 2 back, and then Rowan coming back in the top of the 7th, or excuse me, bottom of the 6th with another run of insurance.
Emory briefly held a 2-run lead in the first halfway through, but Rowan would answer in the bottom half. The Profs scored 6 unanswered. For Emory put up 2 last inning. Rowan bounced back, getting 1 of those back before a pinch runner called out for leaving the base early derailed what could have been a bigger inning. Down on strikes. And with Baca retired for the 4th time today, the Eagles have just 2 outs to work with Sam Vincent coming up out of the 6th spot.
And Nolan going to her drop ball in the outside corner. It's the Rookie of the Year in the All-Atlantic Conference. Gets her swinging.
Bobbled on 3rd and a break much needed. Vincent is on for the 3rd time.
That'll go down as an error against Piote over at 3rd base. Looks like it was a routine ground ball for her. Just jumps up at the last minute. She loses control. And definitely no time to get Vincent over at first base after.
And buried down in the 7th spot is Ashley Powers. Just when you thought there might be some smooth sailing.
Just had a decent day.
2 doubles today. Her pinch runner scored last inning. A home run earlier this week. Count even 1-1. First time to face Allison Nolan today. Is the 5th batter for Nolan since coming in with 2 outs in the 6th.
Nolan going up in the zone, trying to get Powers to chase and possibly get a fly ball out of it. But you have to be careful with Powers. Just her ability to send the ball over the fence.
Lofted to the outfield skirt. It is dropped by Sneed. And let's see if Sneed's okay. There may be a bigger story here. 2 on, 1 out. But one of your top players in the nation this year, invaluable offense and defense, is down.
That's a great effort from the shortstop coming all the way over from her position, but I'm not sure if she collided with Janello out in center field or if she just came down so hard. She was holding her head a little bit, but it's hard to tell which part hurts.
Well, Snead is still down. We'll take a break here on NCAA.com as her Profs are 2 outs away from advancing into tonight's rematch with Messiah. Well, fantastic news for Rowan as their leader, both out there on the diamond as well as at the plate. We'll get another look. Snead trying the over-the-shoulder catch.
That would have been a tough and phenomenal catch for her. It looks like her left ankle gets stuck behind her right. Not sure if that's actually what hurts, but you saw that she twisted it a little bit on the way down. But luckily for Rowan and the Profs that she came up and she's staying on the field.
It was right as she was transitioning from the dirt to the grass. An awkward step.
Just one more look. Again, a great effort from her. She tips it off the end of her glove.
It's this right here.
Yeah, her left ankle. Well, this she lands pretty hard on the ground as well. Might have knocked the wind out of her too, but she looks to be okay.
So Ashley Powers is on base as a result. I'm inclined to think that's a single. Quick bunt, throw to first, got the out. Emory is down to their final out. You know, that play right there, just about any other inning is a good one. But when outs are so valuable, I don't know if you can give up an out for 60 feet.
I'm not sure that was a sacrifice bunt. I think that was a quick bunt attempt for Jenna Wilson. Just the speed that the freshman has, trying to get on base any way that she can. But the defense of Nolan in the pitching circle easily got her out over at first.
Lana Herman will come up as the tying run for Emory. Down by 3. Sam Vincent on third. Ashley Powers in scoring position at second. But Allison Nolan in the circle only needs 1. The number 9 hitter with the season on the line. Emory winning on day 1 against St. Thomas. Fell last night against UT Tyler. 2-0.
That's a nice eye, and if Herman can get through this at bat, whether it be a walk or a hit, brings up the top of the order in Pollard, who has a couple hits today.
Including an RBI last inning. 2-0 coming up from Allison Nolan. This could do it. Baldessari coming in, and the Profs will play again tonight. It'll be a rematch with Messiah, the only team to topple Rowan thus far in Salem.
And Emory going up early in this game 2-0, and then gave up that 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first. And Rowan just refusing to back down. They scored 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and then again in the sixth, and they will not have to play in the bottom of the 7th here because they are the home team. So Emory, a wonderful season for them. Unfortunately for any other team playing against Emory the rest of the way, Brittany File, All-American, will be back as a senior next year.
The Eagles finished the year with 7 straight conference titles after going 10-0 this season. Their overall record, 46-8. After winning on day 1 against St. Thomas, they fall against the top seed UT Tyler yesterday in the nightcap, and today in our second elimination game on this Saturday, fall to Rowan, who has now played 2 elimination games in 2 days. They're going to be asked to play a third coming up tonight against Messiah, approximately 6:30 Eastern time, a rematch of day 1. But not before we have another rematch from day 1. Coming up next here on NCAA.com, Our 4 o'clock ball game features the Patriots of UT Tyler and the Cardinals of Fisher, who have had to win 2 in the losers bracket of their own. But the Profs survive. We'll see them later on tonight when you rejoin us here in Salem.